Welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. I'm joined by Erik Lund from Sony Visilion, and we're going to talk about visibility and the electronic supply chain. Erik, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You mentioned electronics. As every other part of the market, there has been a disruption there. Do you think that things have settled down now? And how have things changed over the course of the last 2-3 years?
We're seeing right now that some of the massive blockages in the supply chains that we've been fighting with, or companies have been fighting with the last couple of years, are easing up. When you look at port congestion, unavailability of containers, and so on and so forth. It looks, and also if you look at ocean rates and transport rates generally, they are certainly coming down right now. So while those challenges are sort of starting to be resolved from a supply chain or logistic point of view, now we're seeing everything that everybody has been pushing to get on the road, on the sea, on the water, is arriving, while demand is softening. So you're seeing the problems are coming towards the destination areas where it is warehouse capacity. What am I going to do with all my stock? That is now becoming the new set of problems electronic manufacturers are dealing with. The original challenge that the industry certainly is still faced with is the massive component shortages, and that remains unchanged, unresolved. We still have lead times going up rather than going down.
And electronics is obviously a high-value sector, and when it comes to high value, we need to know where everything is at any point of time. And how do we actually protect all of this, again, with technology, but at what places? Do we actually need a technology at every single place where the goods are moving?
If you look at electronics generally, it is a high-value industry and high-value transport, and transports that are subject to a lot of attempts for thefts and a number of things. So it is very much an industry that's focused a lot on loss prevention or profit protection and so on and so forth, where exactly aspect of a supply chain security monitoring is very much on the top of people's mind, and risk management, risk prevention. Coming to that, certainly getting insight on both where things are, when can you expect where things to arrive at expected locations, and any information with regards to deviations of any kind of sort is tremendously important for the electronics companies.
Everyone speaks about that, and then no one really owns the process. So who do you think should be the person, the entity that says, hey, we need to track this and this is how we do it. We are the responsible party here.
Contrary to other industries, we very much see that companies within electronics take this as a responsibility for themselves, or they're seeking solutions for themselves. Companies like us offering supply chain visibility services, cargo and asset tracking type services are very much in discussion or being sought after by the companies within electronics, both for the immediate services, but also for the more advanced service where you provide an active control tower service, where you're monitoring the progression of all the various shipments that are ongoing, the deviation for it, have ability to act and interact when necessary.
And if I take a bit on a more macro level, what are the expectations for visibility as well, but just in general also in the technology sector for the supply chain for next year?
Seeing a drive, certainly within electronics, but also within a lot of other industries, expecting more and more to have real-time or near real-time visibility of all the moving components in the supply chain, whether it might be the individual shipment cargoes products, as well as their own assets to both provide the better customer experience, avoid the losses, but also to optimize and orchestrate the uses of their own assets and facilities even better and even more tightly than the case today. Not too much on top of people's minds, but certainly we're seeing the type of technologies that we're working with are reaching a maturity stage. We're seeing, a variety of different types of form factors doing these things at a variety of price levels. It is something that is driving the discussion a lot, and will be doing so in the coming years as well.
Is it possible that investment will suffer in these areas because you just mentioned that quite a lot of the markets that are interested in the electronics are now under pressure?
It's not my experience so far. To the contrary, certainly what leading up to the pandemic and the pandemic period has shown the need for knowing what is happening in a much more near real time case than has been today, and that remains unchanged. The digital transformation of people's supply chains is something that is happening, and there are massive values to be reaped in operational efficiency, in gains when it comes to that. Not only when we talk certainly about offsetting potential losses due to theft or due to damages and so on and so forth. And we're seeing a lot of happening in the project logistics project logistics area, where it again, the question of both being able to orchestrate components, elements coming from so many different suppliers, areas, together with skilled workforce. By getting it right, you have an operational excellency at an optimal price point. Getting it wrong, it becomes very expensive.
Well, Erik, thank you very much for your time. And as usual, people can learn more in the description below. Thank you.